Hello, everyone. Welcome to Innovator Insights from Idea to Impact, where we interview successful entrepreneurs and we talk to them about their journey, how they started the business, what obstacles ran into, how they overcame them, and how they came out successful on the other end. And today we're super excited to have Dana Loberg with us. She is the founder of MovieLaLa and MojiLaLa and Leo AR. So several businesses in her past. So without further ado, welcome, Dana.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're super excited to have you and can't wait to learn more about your story. Before we jump into that, though, could you tell us just a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do when you're not working, you have family, pets, just a little bit of stuff to get to know you a little more.
Sure. So I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California until I was 18. And then I went to school at Yale. And then I lived in New York City for 6 years after college. Went to San Francisco, worked in Silicon Valley for 10 years, which is when I really started to work in technology. And during COVID, I moved to Texas in Austin. I have a family. I am very busy. And I do some things on the side, but I'm still very passionate about technology. And I love being in this space because it's constantly growing and changing. And I think like even with the onset of, Bitcoin, blockchain, AI, we've had so many huge revolutionary innovations in the last 5 years. So I'm really excited to be a part of the tech community.
Yeah, a lot of folks like Bezos and others saying this is the best time ever to be
For
alive as an
tech people,
entrepreneur.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like crazy. Yeah, or for
it's hard to
everyone,
keep up
really.
though.
It is
I don't
hard.
know about you. I get a little FOMO. It's like there's so many newsletters, there's so many revelations. You're like, how do I keep up with all of it?
That's true.
Just take a deep breath. Meditation helps.
You have to
Uh,
find the balance. Like you can't, I got really sick in my first startup for my first year, kind of in the Silicon Valley bubble of like working 24/7, like no
yeah,
weddings, no birthdays, no holidays. I got really, really sick. So I always tell entrepreneurs like, don't kind of follow what you feel is like the norm. You got to really like listen to your body, and take the breaks and the times that you need to like, bring more creative ideas, find, different solutions to the problems you have because like working 18 hours a day just will ruin your health.
yeah. So what years were you in San Francisco?
I was in San Francisco since 2008 to like 2021, I think is when I moved out.
There, the late 90s, during the dot-com bubble.
I moved out of New York City right during the '08 crash, which was not good timing because nobody was hiring and everyone was laying everybody off. And then people were losing their homes. It was a pretty scary time in 2008. But I just knew I wanted to return back to California. So I just bought a ticket and left. It wasn't super planned out.
That's great. Good for you. Okay, well, let's step back a little bit. Where to the first your first startup. I mean, or even before your first startup, did you always know you wanted to
So,
be an entrepreneur? Did you come from an entrepreneurial family? How
I
did you
mean,
get that sort of bug?
yeah. So I didn't plan to be an entrepreneur. My dad is an orthodontist in Los Angeles who did like all the teeth of the Hollywood movie stars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's
great.
pretty crazy, like Julia Roberts and some big ones. But he never really talked to me much about like obviously he owned his own office and had his own business. He was his own entrepreneur, but he never really talked to me about it. And I went to college not really, knowing what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do. And I was very good. I'm very left and right brain. So I was an artist and very good at painting. And then I was also very good at like writing and research. And I was very good at math. It's very weird. I don't have like a normal, like one brain fits all, like in America, I always feel like they tell you to do one thing and do it really well. But I actually have a lot of random talent that don't always come together. So
Great.
when I left college, I had no idea. I was like, okay, I need to make money because my dad like cut me off when I was 18, basically. It was kind of like a huge rule in our family. Like you go to college and that's it. So I've had jobs pretty much since I was 16. But I would say that I like kind of failed up as far as like how I figured out how I got into tech and I figured out what I wanted to do. But I think a lot of it was like I went to New York City, kind of followed the groups of friends going there, and I worked in advertising. Because advertising, you have a lot of creative energy, and then you have also like the, the research and the writing. So I was a copywriter in a creative department of McCann Erickson, and McCann Erickson is one of the largest ad agencies in the world. I worked there for 4 years, and I went to grad school for like putting the portfolio together, but I didn't really love the business. When I looked at my bosses, I was like, this corporate world is not right. Like, like everyone was on their third divorce, super depressed, seeing a shrink every day. Like, it was like, this is my future if I stay here. Like, who would stay here? Like literally everyone was, it wasn't something to aspire to after working in the advertising agency. I can't even watch Mad Men. It's like, it's so
Just,
realistic in a way for me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I have like PTSD from the whole years there.
yeah.
So I
Except
got
the
it.
big ashtrays in the office, maybe.
Yeah, just, male dominated and like stealing
Yeah,
ideas and a lot of like flirting around. It was a lot of flirting between levels and,
yeah,
inappropriate stuff.
yeah.
And then I decided I want to be a full-blown artist in New York City because I was living there. And I did like random jobs on the side, which was kind of interesting. Like I was a nanny, and I did random jobs in New Jersey, kind of just figuring out like what I wanted to do. And I figured out that the art world was actually like way harder to break into than the tech world, because it's like so much of it is like marketing and schmoozing with the right people. Like it's a very weird insular world. But it gave me a lot of learning skills. So when I ended up leaving New York and going to San Francisco, it was like a totally different world for me. Like, in the East Coast, it's like corporate. You have like a structure, you have a paycheck every 2 weeks. You have an IRA account, you have like, your dental, your health is covered. And I moved to SF and I was like, wait, you don't cover my insurance? Like everyone's a freelancer. Like, how am I going to survive here? Like I was kind of panicking because I'd been so used to like saving and like making okay money. And that was a big adjustment because no one talked to me about how California is mostly like one-off freelancers with like no
San
401k.
Francisco, right? Yeah.
Yeah, in San Francisco. So anyway, I ended up working for a startup PR social media marketing company, which was great because I was able to translate a lot of the knowledge from advertising and marketing to the PR firm. And I was like the second hire of this new startup. And we did like pre-launch, launch, and post-launch for startup tech companies in Silicon Valley. So I really got involved with like meeting the founders. They were like, the boxes in their closets in Redwood City. And I would like hear all their inspiring stories. I got really motivated both by working in the startup and also from the stories of meeting these founders. And I kind of was like, if you can do it, I can do it. Like none of these people were smarter than me. And I kind of was like, oh, I can do this. Like I'm not technical by trade. And I had no idea that tech would be a space that I could really thrive in. I think when I compare my original traditional jobs of advertising to like the new job of technology is like, what I hated about the old one is that like I felt like you learned one skill and you're like a monkey. You're like, you have to do it every day over and over and over. And when you're in tech, it's like things are moving so quickly and the technology moves quickly and like things can happen in the economy or in the markets that like the TikTok being pulled, right? It can totally shift an entire category overnight, beyond just like the hardcore hardware or the software changing in tech. So I loved it. Like it's so thrilling, like compared to what I knew before. So, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know what they want to do, I feel like I'm an inspiring story for someone who like feels like they're a loser. They only do the flute or or they only do art. They can't make any money. But like, actually, all of my past jobs really helped me not only appreciate being in tech, and the challenges I faced and stuff, but also just like giving me the grit and the endurance I needed because like doing those other jobs um, were so much worse. Like I
Yeah.
really loved the technology.
But I do think, and it's funny, we actually have quite a lot of parallels because I was in management consulting, not the ad space, but similar, experience, people working 16 hours a day, people traveling 100%. You looked at the partners and you're like, that's not a life I want. It's just not, I can't imagine that.
Right.
And then moving to San Francisco, same for me. I was in Stockholm, then Dallas, and then I worked for Anderson in San Francisco for 2 years. But then the whole .com explosion happened, and suddenly it was just this wave of opportunity. Suddenly you felt like I can do anything. I always felt too. It's like I don't have all the skills to be a startup person, entrepreneur, and then you realize that yes, you do. You can do it. You just build the
And you
right
can
team,
learn
and
them.
yeah.
Yeah, you learn them on the fly.
And then of course we failed miserably with our first startup, but that's a different story. A lot of people did in the .com days.
Yeah.
Anyway, so MovieLaLa, that was your first business you
That was
started?
my first company. So I
Yeah.
knew that I needed to find a co-founder who was like way more experienced than I was, because like I'm basically was starting from scratch with some, some knowledge, but not a lot. So I met my co-founder, Shaheen Boydas. He had the idea of MovieLaLa. He is Turkish. He was from Istanbul. And, originally I was from LA. So I used to work in the studios growing up for a job in the summer. So I worked at like Fox Studios and other studios. So and I know all of LA. Like I know the 405, the 101, I know the weather. Like I know everything. So and a lot of LA, the difference between LA and Silicon Valley is like LA is very local. Like everyone wants to invest locally, and kind of it's like a competition between like the tech world versus the content makers of LA. So I was like, oh, I can do this. Like I know LA like the back of my hand. My whole family still lives there. I actually grew up in the movie capital of the world called Westwood. Westwood Village, right where UCLA is. So that was our first startup. He taught me everything, like how to pitch, how to raise money. He had done like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 companies back in Turkey. He'd been a serial entrepreneur since he was 17. So he was really like the perfect co-founder who was technical with experience that could really just give me all the information I needed. We also did a lot of accelerators as well. We did like, he was coming out of Founders Institute with Adeo Russi. And then I joined him, and then we did like Beta Works, 500 startups, Stanford StartX. We did a bunch of accelerators throughout the MovieLaLa process, which was great. Like I highly recommend accelerators for entrepreneurs.
Maybe
Um,
4 of them in that one company.
yeah,
Oh well. Do you
yeah.
recommend it too, to do multiple?
I mean, there were a few things going on that it helps a lot. It helped me a lot in the fundraising process, because you kind of have like a way to push investors to close. It's difficult. And in general, fundraising is so difficult. So if you can find something to differentiate yourself from everyone else, I would say like it helps a lot. Yeah.
Like just create scarcity.
What'd you
Stuff.
say?
Scarcity and the timeline, right?
Right.
How do you
Right.
push people to make a decision and actually pull the trigger?
Exactly, because they can just say like, "Oh, I want to invest." They never say when. And so they just
Yeah.
wait as long as possible. And you're like, "I need it like this week." You have to give them deadlines, and you kind of learn how to pressure, and it's just great for getting more intros, and it's a filter. It's a filter for the VC, it's a filter for you. You learn who are the bad guys, who are the good guys. And actually like you're so lonely doing a startup. I don't know, like for anyone who's about to do it, like you get so alone because you are kind of working on the product, hiring people, raising money. So you don't have a lot of time. And so I think that like it helps to have other people in the same boat like you,
Yeah,
in the accelerator. So I really enjoyed them.
that's great. Can you give us, just for the folks that aren't familiar with MovieLaLa, what was the business model?
Yeah, so we were a consumer mobile app. We were trying to build like an IMDb 2.0, but more like a social curated movie app. So based on the producers and the actors you liked, you would see upcoming movies, and they would, it would be like this beautiful UI of like the poster. You click the poster, you watch the trailer. And if you said, I want to watch, or I want to go to the movie at the end of the trailer, like we would notify you like, oh, your favorite movie is now in theaters, go buy a ticket. So it was kind of and then you would also see your friends who wanted to go. So it was kind of social plus curated towards the movies, upcoming movies that you want to see.
Right. And the model, did you get money from the studios or the
Yeah.
subscription?
So the idea, I think it was definitely a free app. So what we did is we went down to LA every month and built technology tools for the studios. So we we basically like one of our biggest problem with trailers is like there's trailers on YouTube and all over and there's no call to action. So if you pause the trailer, there's no like I want to watch or I want to see it in a theater. There's nothing, right? It's like a black screen, or at least it was a black screen at that time. So we're like, why are there no call to action buttons of like want to see, want to go, buy tickets? You know, like it's such a waste.
That's great. Never
Yeah,
thought
and
of
it's
that. Right.
yeah, so I know it's kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But like, I mean, it still doesn't even exist today. So we went down to the studios. We were like, let us wrap your trailer. You'll get all the data analytics, like how long people are watching, like when they drop off of the trailer. So at least they have more information about like what's working, what's not working. And then also like try to move the needle of like watching a trailer. If someone watches a trailer 10 times, they're probably very likely to see the movie. So kind of like converting them from a watcher to a buyer of a ticket. So we worked with all the studios and we actually built some other side tools. Like we built a GIF tool where you could like instantly create GIFs off the trailers, with like filters. It was very, very cool. We did that with a big premiere with Lionsgate. So we worked with like Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Skydance, like everybody. We worked with everyone
Great.
because everyone liked our
Great client.
technology.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
And
then you got acquired by
we got
Snapchat?
acquired by Giphy Cat.
Okay.
Giphy Cat bought us 4 years later, pre-Series A. And then 6 months later, Snapchat bought Giphy Cat because Facebook had bought in Giphy. So like they were obviously competing a little bit in the GIF space. So essentially we went to Snapchat. But we didn't go. We just sold the asset. It wasn't like a team acquisition.
Transition, or so you moved out right away?
What do you mean moved out?
You left the company. You didn't start
Yeah,
working on
no,
Snapchat.
I mean, he said the Giphy Cat founder was like, it was the biggest mistake not buying you guys, because we did have a lot of the relationships in LA with the studios that was, LA is very personal, so it would have helped probably if we had been acquired with the company, but it was just like an asset purchase. So right after I sold MovieLaLa, I went right into my next startup. I didn't even take a break, really.
Okay. And your next startup was?
It was MojiLaLa.
Yeah.
So at the time, it's another consumer app, and Line was making, I think, $400 million a year selling digital stickers. And me having my art background, I know that like artists are not technical. And at that time, iPhone was coming out with Messenger, stickers in Messenger in 2016. It was so late. But we were deciding we wanted to build a platform so artists all over the world could submit their stickers to us and we would create an iPhone sticker app for them kind of. And also we had our own aggregated MojiLaLa app where you could search like a term love or hope or fun and you would see like so many diverse animated and static stickers. Because at that time, like you would have to purchase an entire sticker pack and search for the sticker you wanted. Like that was the problem that we were trying to solve. So we're like, okay, how do we build a search bar and you can search a term and see diverse stickers to choose from? And that did really well. We got like in 1 year in 2000, by 2018, we had or 2017, we had over 2,000 artists, like hundreds
Great.
of thousands of stickers. And we also had our own internal team of sticker artists building animated stickers because animated stickers were the most popular.
Yeah.
But the problem we ran into is the business model because the gift space kind of made everything free between, Giphy and Giphy Cat. And so the sticker space was like moving in a direction of like, oh, stickers are going to be free. And we were like, oh, we want to do a subscription model. We had a subscription model. I think it was like, like $4.99 a month to have access to like hundreds of thousands of stickers. And we also built a lot of partnerships to integrate into like Slack and Skype and all the platforms that were starting to like add emojis and stickers. But there really wasn't a great monetization model. And at that time, we started to see behavior use of people dragging and dropping stickers into camera. And so we were like, oh, okay, like camera is the next big platform for the next 10 years. Like chat was the last 10 years and camera will be the next 10 years. So we kept thinking like, okay, if people are already dragging 3D animated stickers to the videos, eventually it's going to be like 3D realistic objects so that you can really like supercharge your videos.
Yeah.
Um, And then at that time, AR Kit launched, and we were like, oh my God, like this is exactly what we envisioned. And now we have the tech tools to build Leo AR, which is how it came about. So it's kind of like MojiLaLa is my base company, but like Leo is now like the future kind of.
Yeah. Great. And you started that 2018, is that right?
2018, yes.
Yeah. And that was the first, did you raise some money for that, correct?
I did. So I think I raised 3 million total
Yeah.
under MojiLaLa, but they're like the same investors. So I kind of split it up like 1.5 and then 1.5 for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going well?
It's going well. It's sustaining itself. I mean, augmented reality is a very complicated space. Mobile's an okay device to kind of witness AR for the first time, but I would have to say that, my vision is to have like some kind of glass that's lightweight and you can really incorporate like new scenes and worlds instantly in the space. And Vision Pro came out, which was really big for AR, but it also was very expensive. It was very heavy. It was, it's not like mainstream yet, augmented reality. So I'm
Yeah.
still sort of waiting. I have everything, we built a Vision Pro app. Everything's an AR kit. I'm putting all my money into Apple kind of, but I know like Meta and there's, Snap,
Yeah.
a lot of their glasses with Ray-Ban. But it's still like a frontier technology, until we have the hardware, it's still kind of, it's okay in mobile, but I'm really waiting for the like glass, AR glass.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Do you know Mike Maples? He's the founder of
Yes.
Floodgate, and he was just speaking here in Austin in the fall, and he talks a lot about these inflection points, right? When technology enables something that wasn't possible before, and he argues that most successful startups, really successful startups, are, entrepreneurs that are living in the future, if you will, that they're, he always says that the future is already here. It's not evenly distributed, which I love.
Yeah.
But he argues that that entrepreneurs that live in those technologies that are almost there or close to some inflection points are typically the ones that come up with these incredible innovations because they're just living in the future. They're educated on it and they can see things that other people can't see.
Right.
So that's awesome. At your forefront of that, I actually started. I mean, not, but in related space, I had this vision of children's books, but you put the actual child into the book.
Oh,
This was
cool.
back in 2005, and we really struggled to sort of take a kid's face and turn it into a cartoon face that actually looked like that kid, and then be able to do 3D, turn them around and stuff like that. And now, that technology is readily available, and
But it's
you could
still
do.
difficult. It's still difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
it's
we love the idea, and there's a couple of companies that do something similar today and having some success, but it's still not quite there. But with AI, it's not hard to see that very soon you will be able to create your own movies with yourself as the lead character, right?
correct. I mean, when I was watching Vision Pro, I could see that like when you looking at photos and they kind of create now these like 3D, you're in the scene now. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you're gonna be able to like have your mom and dad throwing you a birthday party. You're gonna be like reliving these experiences all over again with Vision Pro, with some kind of AR glass. And it's sort of scary in a way because it's like, whoa, like that could be really traumatizing or very, depending on your childhood, but it's like reliving with the same emotion coming up.
Or if you didn't have that happy childhood, you can create your own new childhood with happy
Exactly.
birthdays and loving
Yeah.
parents or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you could. It's very interesting, like and I think with AI and with Leo AR, I'm constantly like, I'm so excited about AI because the AI is so creative with some ideas if you like feed it like the right prompts, and the mix of like AR and AI when you have like a little dragon that talks to you, maybe is like your friend and it's able to grow or whatever. You can have these like almost very realistic interactions now that AI is around to kind of um, make the objects come alive. So I'm very excited. Like I don't, it's hard, as much as we try to like live in the future, I never would have known, I didn't know AI was coming this fast and at this speed. So it's like, when people sometimes ask me about the future, and I'm like, you know, like we're thinking about the future, but there could be another new technology that hits that we adapt as fast as we can. But it's hard to predict now because it feels like instead of every 10 years there's a new technology, it feels like every year there's something new now, you know?
We talked a little bit about it before we started recording, that I almost get FOMO sometimes because it goes so fast. You're afraid if you don't read every email or newsletter that you're going to miss out on the next big thing.
Yeah.
But it's exciting too. You know, it's
Yeah.
super exciting. So talking about, what do you see in Leo's future here? What's on the roadmap for 2025, if you can talk about it? What are you
Sure.
most excited about?
So we're trying a lot of new things now. I mean, so we're seeing a lot. So I'm constantly like, obviously, I'm interested in the fusion of AI and AR to make the objects more realistic, more interactive between themselves and between you as a human. Um, and it's interesting because our app is very popular in America, but it's also very big in India. And I'm constantly like, I'm interested in some spirituality aspects of it. Like if you can have like Gandhi or some like religious figures that can talk to you and do scripture and do their talks, like you don't like you can really kind of bring like religion to your home, you know, because people do a lot of ceremonies at home now, especially in the Indian culture, they have a lot. So we're experimenting with some stuff in India right now, which I'm pretty interested in. Because it makes things affordable, it makes things more practical. And
Super interesting. I was just over there in Asia, China, Vietnam, and India in January, and it is, you can't help think of the tremendous opportunity there, right? Particularly in India, with 1.5 billion people that are gonna probably go through a similar transformation that's happened in China over the last 3 decades, right? Building a massive middle class. But yeah, that's super interesting. So yeah, imagine if you had your little guide with you at every time, and and can help you interpret things that you see, and make sure you keep a positive attitude and all that stuff. It's like your own guru, or
yes.
counselor or whatever, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely think AI will be big in, you know, in the mental health space in general with like finding the right teacher for you to inspire you or finding you someone that like helps to keep you balanced and uh, like you said, like a professional teacher or guru or anything. Like I think a lot of people are actually working on that right now in the AI space with like kind of like a mentorship because they're always so expensive in the US, you know, like hiring a mentor or hiring a teacher kind of or a shrink or a psychologist is like very, very, very expensive. So I think AI is going to help a lot in democratizing that skill set. And I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, it's something I'm thinking about for 2025. And obviously, my engineers love doing like avatars that are like more alive that can like guide you and teach you things beyond just like the India spiritual side of it. So we're also as a side, we're also doing that. Like we definitely see the fusion of AR and AI. Like your kid might have her own tutor on an app that kind of guides them of like what they need to do, how to do the math problem, etc. They could be teaching you how to do yoga. You can be able to select your avatar. You can like decorate them any way you want. So that really excites us, the kind of the freedom and the creativity behind AR um, and more educational, you know, not just like no, I don't want it to waste your time. I want it to be a valuable app that people are either learning things from it or has an interesting way of teaching you something. That inspires me a lot.
It's awesome. That's a great vision. So if people want to learn more about Leo AR, where do they go?
Oh, it's in the App Store. We have it on Android and an iPhone, like just Leo space AR.
Awesome. Great. Before we wrap up here, any advice to our listeners? We have a lot of listeners that are first-time entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. You've been through the journey several times. Any piece of advice you'd like to share?
Sure. The one thing I always tell everyone is to start early. Like, I feel as a first-time entrepreneur, you're always like, okay, when I get the website going, I'm gonna like reach out to investors, or when I get the prototype of my app, I'm going to then go out and fundraise. But really, it takes so long as a first-time entrepreneur to kind of to do the emails, the reach outs, and to actually sort of get to know them, because angel investors invest when they like you as a person, one, and then they like your product too. So I always say, like, go out, or like I always send email. I had nothing. I don't even think I had a pitch deck when I sent my first few emails in San Francisco. And that was pre-COVID. I was like, can we get a coffee? Like, I would just love to learn how you got to where you are. Just like kind of inspiring and thoughtful, but it actually really helped in getting my early investors. So I always say, like, start early, even when you have nothing, because then you can show the progress. Like, oh, like I'm just finding my co-founder, or I have my co-founder. I'm looking to hire my first engineer, but this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you think? It's good to get them involved early, and then you can close them like in 6 months or 1 year when you have kind of progressed in a space that they're comfortable. So I would just say, like, it takes time. I mean, angel investing is sort of slow in my head. Like, no one meets you for 20 minutes and gives you 100K. It's like, I think I did like 10 meetings with my first investor before I closed them. It was like a lot of in-person meetings. So I just would recommend you start as early as you can.
It's great advice. Yeah, I see that sometimes first time entrepreneurs, they think their idea is so precious that they don't want to talk to anybody about it. And
Yeah.
it's until the final reveal and everybody's going to be, wow. Oh.
Or they're like, sign an NDA. And I'm like, you don't
Yeah.
even have anything. Like, chill. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, people are so paranoid of getting their ideas stolen, but everyone has other things they're doing and other projects, and no one has the passion that you do for your project. So like, nobody should worry about that.
And there's no better way to refine your idea than to get feedback on it, right? The first time you go in front of a sophisticated investor, they're going to ask you 5 questions that you don't know the answer to.
Right.
But that teaches you, oh, okay, now I got to improve my pitch. And then you go pitch somebody else and they'll ask 5 more questions that you don't know the answer to. But that's how you get better and better, right?
Right. Yeah. It takes a lot of practice. Yeah. Like, I would just record myself, like, and like pitching myself, pitching the company for like an hour a day, just to really kind of hone it down. And then, like you're saying, like at a bar, at a restaurant, when I'm with friends, I'd be like, can you, ask me some questions, like pitch them and ask, like, have them ask questions. So, because a lot of them will catch you off guard, and you have to learn like how to react, how to control your face, like everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good advice. Dana, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you a little better. Really appreciate you spending time with us, and best of luck with Leo and Moji here in 2025.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.